welcome to Inbound After Hours. Today we've got a show about running an event and what we've learned over the last 2 years. I've got myself, Mark Byrne, the Director at Digital 22, also Ricky, Director at Digital 22, Paul Mortimer, who's our Head of Content, and we've got a new guest on the show. We've got Emily Yates, who's an inbound marketeer, who's got quite a bit of experience in event planning. Yep. So how is everyone?
Yeah, good.
Fantastic,
Thank you.
good. Thank you very much.
Great.
Good
well,
week.
Let's kick off with some industry news stories. Has anyone got anything for us?
Yeah.
Put you on the spot.
Who's easy going to ask?
Yeah.
Well, I keep seeing lots of stuff about Facebook ads. Every other post when I log on Twitter seems to be tips for Facebook ads, Facebook video ads.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't know. I think Facebook released some tips following the algorithm change.
Okay.
And seems to be a load of content about that at the minute.
Okay.
I've no tips to share.
That's
that was just what I've noticed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just I keep adding them to my refind.
Okay.
So
I've seen you sharing it on our internal Slack with the teams. There's a lot going off at Facebook in a minute. So it'll be interesting for you to look into that. Give us some tips next week.
Yeah, will do.
Okay, cool. Ricky, anything good?
Kind of similar thing really, but Google rolled out a big algorithm update on the 1st of August. An algorithm update on the 1st of August, and a bit like what's happening with the Facebook ads thing at the moment. There's loads of chatter, and then a couple of weeks later you kind of find out what's happened and there's a bit of insight. So we just about got to that point with it now. So they've given it a name, which is the Medic Update. It's a nice name.
Yeah.
The reason they've done that is because it's targeting mainly advice articles and blogs. So a lot of medical advice stuff's been hit quite badly, financial advice, home advice, lifestyle stuff like well-being, how to be a better person, when to buy a car, when to have a baby, like, you know, all the sort of general advice you get around your life. And the reason being is you'll have heard people talk about in SEO over the last few months a thing called EAT, which is the sort of trust-based factors around Google, and a lot of these sites have been hit quite badly by the rollout of that. So it's people writing advice on quite important things with no authority to do so.
Yeah, good.
They've been hit quite badly. So
I think this is good.
yeah, no,
definitely.
it's cracking. Yeah. So there's been a ton of talk about that, but I wanted to wait until the dust had settled to have a bit of a chat about that. So I guess if you're offering any sort of advice in and around those industries and you've been hit, that's probably a good indicator of what it is. Google doesn't think you're authoritative or trustworthy enough. So have a look who's writing your content. See if you can get more subject matters experts in it, try and understand it a bit better, increase the quality of your writing, reduce your grammatical errors, those sorts of things. So it's been quite a huge update. It's been talked about for a long time. So
got some clients that really affects.
Yeah.
Interesting too.
I mean, it should be good for most of our clients because it should be their competitors which are going down who've spun articles and got them written abroad badly.
Yeah, we have credible clients. So no problem for us.
No?
Yeah, it
should be positive.
It's good for their competitors who, like you say, just writing bogus
crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can say crap, can't we?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Nah, good update, Ricky. Thank you.
Cool.
Let's crack on about events then. So we're not professionals at this, but what we have been doing over the last 2 years is running our quarterly Manchester Hug events. We took it from a small room of people to a very large room of people now. We've learned a lot during the process, made a lot of mistakes as usual.
Sure.
Hopefully we can give the listeners some insights.
Yeah.
So let's kick it off nice and easy. What do we need to start an event? What did we have in the early days?
So I guess there was a need for the event really. So the HUG stands for HubSpot User Group. So HubSpot offer for people like ourselves to run an event around that, being experts in the field at it.
Yeah.
So I guess the first thing you need to run an event is a reason. Once you've got our reason was to bring HubSpot users together. I guess that's the starting point really, is what you're trying to achieve, what's the reason for running it. Then that's going to go throughout your planning and your marketing really.
Good shout, let's go around then. What else do we need? You shout it out.
Venue.
You need a venue, right?
Venue.
Yeah. And another thing we need is in the early days is supplying refreshments, something as simple as food or drink for the people who are going to be there for 3-4 hours. I don't think we did in the early days, and people get a little bit touchy if they haven't got a cup of tea or a drink. So the basics
and clear off first opportunity.
Yeah,
yeah,
you know. Yeah, anything from you, Emma? You think of
an understanding of the people that are going to be at the event before you even begin, so that you can understand what is important to them, what's convenient for them.
Yeah, definitely. On picking a venue, then, what have we all found from hosting events in the past in terms of what works, what doesn't?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've done the corporate hotel.
Yeah.
We've done that, and now we're not in a corporate hotel. No. It didn't suit us as a business, as an agency. It wasn't as relaxed as it is now. The place we do it at now, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? It's
relaxed.
Like it, there's some random settees there, and what do you think, Emily? Do you think to the
I went to my first hug just the other week, and I think the relaxed feel of it really suited the style of event that we were hosting. Okay. There was someone sat out in the room with the sofas playing the piano, which proper chilled as you walk in, but
goes back to what Emily said about knowing who's coming. Like, we're not going to sell insurance in that room, are we?
It's back to the
it's a marketing thing.
Digital marketers.
Yeah, and they want to be a bit hipster, don't they? So it kind of suits the audience a little bit.
Where was that corporate? There was the hotel.
I think it was in Hilton.
Yeah.
In Leeds, we did one in there. We've done quite a few different hotels.
The next one, that shared space, didn't we, in Leeds as well?
We did that one.
So that was in an office where it was a co-working place, and the meeting room was a co-working meeting room. So whilst we were talking, just around the curtain, someone was having a meeting, and they were like shushing us and stuff.
That didn't work with it. I'll tell you what else went wrong with that event as well. They had no milk for refreshments, so every single person were there were complaining because they couldn't have a cuppa.
And we had to run to that shop and buy bottles of water and
silly
stuff
things
like that.
You don't prep for.
Definitely. And same problem at the same venue, not to be named, is really badly signposted. It was tricky to find. When you got to the front door, it didn't look like a real front door. Didn't tell you where to go when you got in the building. You just walked in. There's people co-working
as well.
Yeah, so I guess internal signage is quite important. It's not just finding a building, because Google Maps does a decent job of that these days. But when you get in there, if it hasn't got a reception, which a lot of places don't these days, it's telling people where to go and how to get there.
Talking about naming the event, brainstorm, come up with an idea, then that leads to branding the event.
Yeah. I think going back a step, why you're having the event and what you want from it, needs deciding and working out early on, and then you can think who you're going to invite. So we've been invited to some events where we thought, I'm not sure what the host's getting out of this, but it worked in the end. And the people who were there enjoyed it, but I don't think it was quite right for me to attend. But the people who did and got stuff out of it was good.
Yeah. I think the approach to events is changing a bit, like marketing again. It's if you get invited to an event and you know you're going to be sold to, I wouldn't go if I thought it was that. So a lot of events now where they would have been very salesy in the past, we're going to get speakers in who you'll find interesting. We're going to build a brand with you and trust with you. We're not going to sell at this event. There'll be no pictures. A lot of events say that now. It's not salesy, and obviously the HubSpot user group isn't. I'm speaking at one in a couple of weeks, which is the Be Brilliant Club. That's a similar thing. It's just we're going to offer you value in the long-term knowledge that you'll trust us, and if you ever need to use us, fair enough.
That first Be Brilliant Club actually that I went to was, remember you spoke, and I think I was there taking pictures or something. And we came out and thought, did people find that useful? Were they interested in inbound marketing? We had some people on the car park who were like, oh, thanks for that. They just wanted to go and learn something. Yeah. And that's what it was. I guess 20 years ago it would have been a networking lunch or something.
Yeah.
But it's interesting when you said about inbound, and people would go in just wanting to learn and get some new business skills. There was a motivational speaker, there was you talking about inbound, and then there was Dave did like a meeting thing, didn't he? Really? And it worked.
It worked, yeah. I mean, we're going to go off on tangents here. One of my questions later on is, should we sell an event? I know you touched on that. I'd like to come back on that. Yeah. You mentioned about was he interested or not. The fact that we send out feedback forms straight after the event, that's really helped us. So people, what they liked, what they disliked. A lot of the complaints were about not having no milk, or the lighting, or it's too noisy, shut the window. So that's really helped us.
The end of the day, the long goal is to sell, isn't it? So I think you mentioned a good point, Emily, when we were chatting about following people up.
Yeah, I mean, at an event, if someone wants to be sold to, they'll make themselves known anyway.
Yeah,
definitely. That's a good point.
they'll come up to you, and then it's down to you to follow up on that
Right.
Yeah.
in a timely manner, because they're already warm.
A lot of speakers always say like, I'll be around after my talk. If you've got any follow-up questions, come and see me. And they'll generally hang around for an hour or so, won't they? And that's your opportunity to say, I'm really interested, or tell me more about that, or can I have a card, or whatever it is. And the other good tactic, kind of slightly more salesy than that I see a lot of people do now, is the end their talks with like a download action, like a CTA. It's like, I've told you about this, now if you want the cheat sheet to do this, or you want the checklist of the tips I gave you, or some people even do it with the slides. Like, if you want these slides, go to this landing page, fill it out, and
You can do it.
I got myself doing it at the Hub the other week when someone was asking about planning blog titles, and I was like, just drop me an email. And half of me is like, because I want to help, and the other half's like, so you can be in our database.
It's back down to the inbound methodology, and it's add value.
Yeah.
Reciprocity. I do like the idea, if you want the slide deck, drop me an email.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of what we do in inbound marketing anyway.
I mean,
we should do that.
Yeah, definitely. We did on this last Hug one. We did on the last Hug. We put the slides behind the landing page.
Yeah.
And that works quite well, because we used to just throw them up there, and
I don't know that. So.
we started doing that, which works. It has worked quite well. But I mean, we'll be at inbound in a few weeks, all of us, and all of those ones end with, this is my CTA, this is what you should do next. They don't miss a trick in America.
Okay.
Definitely.
What else do we need to get started?
I think one lesson we learned is around networking as well. I don't know if this is me, but I hate networking with a passion.
There's a talk at Inbound.
Of networking for people who hate networking.
Brackets, everybody hates networking.
I'm not even going to it, I hate networking. But we put networking on our event to start with, but when you're not networking doesn't happen.
No.
You've got to make networking happen, and I can't make networking happen. It's not us really, so we don't make networking happen, so we just took it off. If you happen to be there 15 minutes early and want to chat, cool. If you want to hang around and have a chat afterwards, cool. But I'm not going to have this 30 minutes where you've got to talk to people.
Tell you what we've learned from that, because there was a new crowd at the last Hug, whereas the last 5 or 6 had the same crowd growing, and people were bringing someone they knew.
Yeah.
So I missed the one before the last one, but the one before that had a really regular group there.
Yeah.
Who were like, oh, nice to see you again. Like,
it's just
it's
organic, isn't it?
You've got that community then, yeah.
What about repeat events? And you've organised a lot of events in your old role. Did you do any that were a regular one every 6 months? Or?
Yeah, so the company that I worked at was a distributor, so they held distributor meetings, and the distributors were like international. They were from France or Australia or everywhere basically. And every year we brought all them together into one room to provide them with some learning updates. Back to the value thing as well. In that industry, CPD was really important, and having someone that could like offer that value that they could then use against their CPD points. But yeah, I mean, if you run the event right, you can take the hard work out of planning the next one, because people want to return.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Hard work out of marketing it as well.
Yeah.
The CPD is a good thing. I mean, we've never actively talked about that with the Hug, that you can put your hours into your chartership sort of thing to keep your license going. But I noticed the Be Brilliant Club, they say you can claim back 2.5 hours, whatever it is, because with most of these, a lot of these you don't have to be like an accredited thing. It's just, I've been to an event for an hour on that subject, I've kept my learning up, so I'm going to log an hour against it, and it's quite an easy win for people, isn't it?
I never maintained my CPD. I didn't maintain the membership to the Chartered Institute, but for me, when I did, I went to as many events as possible. People want to attend your events just to take points from that.
Definitely.
So as long as you're giving them value, they're going to come.
That's a good point.
That's a really good point.
And there's CPDs for most industries. Like, it's pretty applicable to most events, isn't it? If it's a learning-based event.
Budget, it can run away with you, as you know. The venue costs, speaker costs, tea, coffee. You can get carried away. I'd always try and have a budget, £500,000, £5,000, whatever you've got. It could go higher, it can easily go out of control.
You've got to set one, haven't you?
You've got to set one.
I think what we found with this one again is looking for different spaces. It again depends on what your event is. Like, you can't host something more formal this way, but have a look around. There's meeting spaces where you don't expect. Ours is in like the back of a coffee shop, essentially, isn't it? It's a meeting room, but you'd have never known that was there. So it's just having a look around, speak to people in the city. Where's some different cool spaces, and because they're not advertised, they're not running AdWords. I need to fill up this space. It's a proper meeting space. Tend to find they're a lot cheaper as well. Like, I'm sure ours is 5-6 times cheaper than it would be to be in the Manchester Hilton. Other hotels are available, but I'm sure.
Central Manchester, they charge you by the second, is it, or a minute?
It's a quirky coffee shop, isn't it? So they charge by the minute. If you walk in, you take your time and you can eat and drink as much as you like, and then they charge you by the minute. I don't know how they charge us for the event. I don't know if it's based on that minute system, but it's 5-6 times cheaper than a standard venue would be, and it suits our culture. So
that actually made me think of, we've been doing that for a while now, and the staff we've got to know. There's a couple of new people I knew. I went last time, but the same people were there last year, so they were like, they knew you would come in, they knew what you wanted. The room was 90% already set up how you want it, because someone who was there when you did it last month remembers, actually they needed this lead, didn't they, so I've got that ready.
What we've also found really helpful with that is when people wander into an event, they never know what it's exactly called, do they? So I hear people walking in going, I'm here for HubSpot, I'm here for Hug, I'm here for Digital 22, I'm here for User Group. And because we've been there for a few years now, the guys at the thing, you just go, you're back there, room 3, whatever it is. First time, it was just people wandering, looking for where they were going. So that does help if you're running regular events to keep it in the same place, doesn't it?
Helps people find it as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. So it's great having these events, but if you don't record it, film it, use the audio, you can't repurpose, you can't use it in your marketing. So we invested, we talked about this before, we invested in a cheap camera and an audio mic. That's how we started off.
And a David.
And then, now because it's doing well, we've invested, we've got all the kit, we've got David over there, but who gets paid a large amount of money to do what he does. But we just started off small, didn't we? Just with a handheld camera, so try and record the event. And back to audio, Paul, you talked about this with podcasting. Your audio's got to be second to none if you're going to put it on SoundCloud. Anything else you can think of?
I think that's a huge point that's worth mentioning. Is you can, if you put your mind to it, get a lot out of the event. We've recorded it, so that goes on our YouTube channel, it goes on our video hosting platform. We transcribe it, which makes part of a blog, and the guys write up some better sort of notes in the transcription around the blog, so we get a blog out of each speaker, and then we do the audio, so you're getting 3 sets of media from each talk. Scale that by the number of speakers you got, the number of times you run it.
Snippets, if you're doing Instagram,
30-second
snippet of a key point or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you know this, Emily used to do it all, didn't you? You used to roll all this out and create the videos and the snippets, and it's amazing what one event can do from repurposing. 6 months later, we're still sharing stuff.
Definitely.
Cool. What else have I got? Speakers, cameraman, slide decks. So don't go in and wing it.
Definitely. I'll tell you what was tricky for me personally is opening it or closing it. I think there's a skill in that, and there's some, like Dan Tyre, who's coming, for example, he'll be brilliant at closing the hug off. Luke at the Be Brilliant event, Dave was good at it as well. That's something.
We're pretty. Hi everyone, let's kick it off and go. We could get better, as we could get better at introing these.
100%.
But
last one was particularly relaxed. I don't even know if I went to the front of the room. I think I just stayed in my seat at the back and said, like, we'll just crack on with speakers, guys. Here we go.
It was pretty much just like
the
that's
end.
It really.
So we do need to get better at that.
We do.
But it again suits your audience, doesn't it?
Okay, let's. We've got everything we need. Let's talk about the marketing side of it. So, what do we need to do to promote the event, sort of pre and post? What are we doing now?
Emailing everyone, aren't we? We've got, because we've had a few events, we've got people who've attended, so you can tell them about the next one.
How far ahead would you start marketing the event?
What are we doing at the minute?
We've gone for 3 months.
We're 3 months, and we run them 3 monthly. I guess it'd be different if you're running annual events or something different.
I mean, with the annual events that I held, there were several others throughout the year where you saw those people again.
Yeah.
So they were always in contact with you.
Yeah.
But if you're not seeing them that regularly,
Yeah,
then having the events closer together is a better option.
definitely. And if you watch what the pros do, so we go to Inbound, the last day of Inbound, they start selling tickets for next year, so they're starting a year out.
Yeah.
You get them best part of half price if you buy them at the event for next year's event. And then the price dwindles to full price throughout the year. Pretty much you can get 75% off if you 6 months away, and it kind of comes down. So those big guys running massive conferences, they're marked in every day of the year, and it just starts the day the last one finished.
Yeah, probably starting now for next year.
God, definitely. They'll have plans. They'll be lining speakers up for next year already.
Actual exhibition events as well, they sell stand space on the day that you've finished setting up your stand.
Do you want to come back again next year? Yeah.
But buy the same space and you can have it cheaper.
I guess as far out as you can go, the better with all these things, isn't it? People have got to get them in the calendars. I think if you're starting far out, you've got to keep regularity of communication up. But
we've done a great job of that this year. We've pre-booked all the speakers for every month.
Yeah, we did it a year in advance.
Every couple of months, we're scrapping trying to get.
Takes a headache away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I remember when we first started, or when I first started going anyway. Who's coming tomorrow?
Yeah.
But now it's
and then we built a website, and then we split it down on months and put everything on there, and we just direct everything to that site then. So
it's a good point about what's the focal point of your event. Works for us having a website because we can build websites. We use HubSpot to gather the attendees and stuff because we've got HubSpot. Yeah. If we didn't have access to those things, you see a lot of people focusing on the big event sites instead, don't you? Eventbrite and things like that. I think you've got to have that focal point of.
That's what Danny at Igloo used, doesn't it? I think. Did he use Eventbrite?
A lot of people use that, don't they? That's where your information about your event is, where you can register, where you can sign up. Think about how that integrates in your current systems, how you're going to print off a register of attendees and all that sort of stuff.
On a different scale, just at the cricket club I'm part of, we just use Facebook events.
Yeah,
because that's where their membership is.
Yeah, you've got to pick your platform where it's focalised around. I don't think it matters too much what it is. Just like you say, pick it for your membership.
Social media then. What we're doing for social media at the minute.
Get a hashtag and own it.
Yeah.
Put the hashtag up on the first slide, or we put it on a whiteboard at the side. It's on the footer of the slides. Tell people what to use if they're in the event.
Build hype before it on the hashtag, saying what they can expect to hear about at the event.
So let's talk more about social media. We're putting stuff out there before the event. We've got a team of people during the event who are answering questions. We live stream now. That's a new improvement.
Yeah.
We've got a live stream camera, so it's direct onto Facebook. We've just got a new app. We're going to test it on the next one where it can go to YouTube and Twitter as well. So we're always trying to improve. You guys do all this, don't you? Then after the event, just reach out, feedback.
Like you said earlier, it's still there.
Yeah.
I think the one that did really well was the Olivia one.
Yeah.
From when she spoke from HubSpot, and there was loads of views after the event.
Yeah.
Even though, because it's shot live, it don't need to be that polished. People know they're watching a live stream that's not live, so. And you can have the edited version, like what David's cut up from last week, on the blog or on the landing page, where it needs to be impressive and sharp. But the live event can just be there's a camera there in the corner, it's just a mobile phone.
That was great. Olivia did accounts-based marketing. All her friends and colleagues at HubSpot were watching. They shared the live stream. We shared the live stream. It went viral in a way. We had 35,000 viewers on that live stream.
That's crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah, an event with 35 people there.
I think at that. I think 60 of them that day.
It was a decent one on because
Yeah.
GDPR,
It does
wasn't it?
make you wonder if that is part of the reason why there's been so many new people at the event since then.
Yeah.
Because it was a room where you didn't know many people at the last one.
Definitely.
And it could well be that's caused it.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And then we've changed the time of the event to during work hours.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
It was quite a big shift for us, wasn't it? So we used to hold it 7, 8 o'clock at night, was it? Or maybe a little bit earlier, I can't remember. But it was definitely an after-work thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We doubled our attendance when we changed it to a mid-morning, didn't we?
We thought people would come. I think it started at 6 because we thought people would like to, excuse to get away early. I'm off to a training thing, And there was a few people who did and who were engaged.
Yeah.
And then somebody mentioned, can we do it during the day? Because he came up from London, I think. So he didn't have to stay over. And we tried it, and the numbers went up, didn't they?
I always say that you should look for every reason that someone won't attend your event and try to combat it. So after work, people have to go and pick kids up from school, or they've got to go walk the dog, something as simple as that. Whereas during work time, they're already out.
Yeah. It's a really good point, that, because on our first year we had one that was it was Champions League final or something, or Champions League semi-final night or something, but because you book them a year in advance, you can't really change them as well. Right in the middle of it, and we got about 10 people turning up. Like, you've got to... There's nothing happening in your work day. If it's a work event,
it's work, isn't it?
It's work, so it does make a lot of sense.
It's really valuable stuff, this. I'd like to keep going on this for the viewers. What else have we done wrong over the last 2 years? What can help these guys so they don't make the same mistake?
I think a really small detail one, but get your audio visual stuff right, particularly cables. Like the amount of, you go in, there's a projector. I mean, for some reason we have a different projector every time we go there, and I don't know what that's all about, but sometimes you go and you've got them old VGA cables, sometimes you've got HDMI, and then we look from our end of different people going all the time. So you guys are on Macs, so you've got HDMIs, but us guys are on Chromebooks, so we're USB-Cs. I remember one where we had like a connector into a connector into a connector into a wire into the thingy. It's like
the wire was too short.
Yeah, and then the wire's too short.
Was it you who ran to Matlin or something?
So I think, being prepared. Bring every adapter cable with some big long cables and stuff.
I know you've mentioned it at a hug actually, but camera equipment as well.
Yeah, test everything, have extra SIM cards, backup batteries, David knows.
Charge your batteries.
Have backups of everything. Because stuff does go wrong, laptops crash. Because there's nothing worse than getting all them people in a room getting your speakers and you can't record it.
It's another similar sort of theme thing. First event we did, I think we had 3 speakers. Everyone had their own slide decks, so we have to plug their laptops in each time the speaker changed. Again, it's really basic, but if you're holding your first event, you don't think about it. But obviously now we say send your slides a week in advance, we pull them all into one slide deck. People are sending us from PowerPoint, and I don't even know what Apple's one's called, but Edit once. And you've got to get that all inside Google Slides, which slightly changes the formatting and stuff, but if you can just deal with that a week in advance, get one slide deck on and just say, carry on the same laptop. It's just so smooth.
No, that is right. I think another one's screening your speakers. An example, we'd get HubSpot speakers, they all get training, they're really good. We had a few other agencies saying, can we speak at your event? We want to add value. We got them in, we didn't check them out really, as in maybe watch YouTube of them speaking. The slides deck's quite poor, the speaking wasn't very good.
And this is making it sound like we're like, don't get us wrong, we're not saying like, what the risk is, isn't it? If it's crap, it's harder to get people to come again.
And it's your name against it.
Exactly, yeah.
So we've had some great ones and we've had some bad ones. So obviously the bigger events, they all make you submit a video up front, don't they? And if you want to speak at inbound or something, you've got to send a video of yourself speaking, and rightly so if you're going in front of a few thousand people with your name on it. That's a good tip.
We've done some crazy things. One idea, we had to go around the room and everyone introduce herself, and I think it lasted about 45 minutes one day. So that we abolished that.
It worked well when there was a small group, but then suddenly 60 odd people come through the door and can't do this again.
Networking at the beginning, we tried that. Do you want to explain what happened there, Ricky?
Yeah, no, like same focus, we're not networky people. You can't force what you're not good at. I think there'll be events where that flows really, really great, but I think the hosts have got to start it, facilitate it, work the room, all that stuff, and that's not
the stuff that we just can't.
We can't do it. I go and have a slice of cake and a drink, to be fair, just before it. So
I remember with the slide deck, you look back and laugh now, the slide deck with the agenda, and it was like half-hour networking.
Yeah.
On the screen, everyone was sat there quiet.
You will network now.
Yeah.
So are you not going to do it? No, we're not going to do it.
Yeah. What else? Anything else we've done wrong?
I think we're about time on that. To be fair, I think David's been waving at us a little bit, so I think we're on to the next segment, mate.
Okay, so it is game time, isn't it?
We normally do what we've been working on. If anyone's had anything particularly poignant to talk about this week, any particular things anyone's been trying to tackle or solve?
Well, we went to see, I think, our oldest client. Went over to Shannon. I don't know, do we happy for us to talk about it? Let's shoot some crews.
Yeah.
Sorry David, I'm rocking your microphone. Yeah, that was good. I've spoken to them since I joined 2.5 years ago. It's the first time I've been to their head office and met face to face. Yeah, that was nice to meet those people. And then found Google Semantris, a new game.
Oh yeah, that was
good.
good.
My highlight this week.
Do you want to explain to people what that is?
Yeah, it's Google's AI that has it's like a form of Tetris, and it plays word association. So there's a Tetris board with words in. What are you laughing at?
It's the geekiest game of all time.
I suggested it as the game for today.
No, it's a cracking game, but it's funny. It's funny watching you describe. Oh yeah, it's semantic words on Tetris.
To Charlotte, and I just thought, no, I'm not going to bother. So it uses semantics, Google Semantics Learning, and if it's got a word there that's ping pong, and you put table in, it works out that you've linked it to ping pong, and then that tile removes. And it works like Tetris. So new ones come in. Oh, that's good.
No, you were on it at the airport for a while, weren't you,
Yeah.
mate? We'll link to it in the show notes because I think it's worth people having a go at.
Have you got to be good at spelling?
Well, I can't work out what Google get out of it, what they're learning.
I think it's showing people what they know in it.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're building a database of
that's
related words.
They must be getting something out of it.
Could be.
Emily, what have you been up to this week?
PPC for a lot of our clients, trying to get the most out of their accounts and their budgets. One thing we've done in particular is set up ad roll for one client.
Great.
So we're hoping to see that provide some real success.
Yeah,
Heard good things.
Okay.
It's kind of coming into budgeting, I guess, but tying in a little bit what Paul's saying, starting to visit clients, talking about budgets for next year. So I guess that probably resonate with all of the viewers that got to start thinking about how much they want to spend in 2019. Ask the boss what the targets are. Try and get some more money for that bigger target. But yeah, it's a good nudge for people to start that process now because it takes a while.
Good. Yeah,
definitely. And then we're on to the fabled game.
Yeah, that's nice.
Not Semantris. It's a better one.
It's a better one.
No Andrew though.
No, so I'm going to be Andrew this week. I'm going to host the game and give that a go. So the current scores is 1 for me, 1 for Paul, none for you yet, Mark, and Emily is going to play for me this week.
So Andrew's not in because where is he?
He's skiving.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Ricky's brought in a substitute, and Emily just happens to be our PPC specialist.
Oh yeah, she's got a keyword volume, so you got to pick your subs right, haven't you?
Yeah.
So I'll be a bit nicer than Andrew. I'll tell you what the game's about for your benefit, Emily. So basically, there's going to be a word on screen, and I'm going to tell you how many times that's searched for. I'm going to tell you the next word, and you're going to say whether it's higher or lower. We're going to do that a few times, and we get to the end, and there's going to be a bonus round. The bonus round is worth 2 points, and that's a guess the closest number wins.
Okay.
It's quite simple. We should be cool, but let's have a go. So, keeping it on theme, the first word is event planning checklist. So, keeping up with that, 4,500 people a month are in the same place that we are, and search for event planning checklist every month. So, do more or less people search for Google algorithm update? You can see I'm keeping with the theme.
Is that recent?
This is annual averages per month on worldwide search volumes, just to clarify.
Go higher.
Higher?
Lower.
100% lower.
It's higher. Well done, Emily. So
Collusion.
there's an extra 1,000 there. So yeah, 5,400 people a month search for Google algorithm update. So next keyword is Rand Fishkin, Wizard of Moz, formerly.
Yeah.
Is he searched for more times or less times than Google algorithm update?
Rand, pretty popular Rand, isn't he? They search for more Rand.
It's just specifically for the word Rand Fishkin.
Lower.
Emily's going lower.
He's got a great following, Rand. We met, as you know. Had a good chat with him. I'm going to go higher.
You going higher?
I'm going to go higher.
Yeah.
Higher, lower, and it's lower. So Emily is destroying you guys here. So that's 4,400 per month.
He sent her this.
I haven't fixed this at all. And Alan Partridge, is he more or less popular in searches than Rand Fishkin?
Got to be higher. He's super famous, this guy.
Don't look at Emily because she's good at it. What are you going with?
Well, whoever's winning should go first.
No, I'm looking at you. So.
Higher.
I'm going ever so slightly lower.
Lower. No, Partridge absolutely
Partridge is higher
destroys
than
it.
West Ennis.
Yeah.
1.4
You're like, who's on Partridge? So there you go, you're back in the game, guys. Give yourself a
2-1.
shot. So it's basically winner takes all on the bonus. It's third time this has happened. So whoever gets the closest to this will win the show. So I want to know exactly how many searches a month do you get for how to tie a tie?
Straight to Google.
How many people put that into Google every month? How to tie a tie?
Not YouTube.
No. Emily, do you want to take a guess?
6,500.
6,500 people a month. Paul?
$75,000.
Oh,
That's a big difference.
That's a big difference. Mark?
I'm gonna go with 15,750.
15,750. Okay, everyone on the edge of the seat. It's 673,000. So you're only 1,000 times off. So that's Paul, back of the net. You're in the lead.
Well done.
Well played.
Thanks.
Good game.
Good game.
And that's it for this
Thank
week.
you. Yeah.
Well done.
Thanks, guys. Maybe a question time would work as well. Maybe a question time.
Oh, like a quiz.
Like a quiz. Could try that.
Try that next time, maybe.
Yeah, good.
Cool.
Okay. Do you want
So thanks everyone for playing,
Yeah,
and
thank
thanks
you.
everyone for joining the
to have a
podcast.
quick mention about our Facebook page again while we're
Oh
here?
yeah, plug it.
Well remembered.
Yeah,
Inbound
so-
after hours.
Yeah, go on Facebook, put in
Go on
Inbound
Facebook.
After Hours, and there's lots of discussions there about everything inbound, a little bit of HubSpot stuff, so come and join us and join in the discussion.
Okay, great. Thanks for the guys. Thanks, Emily. Hopefully you'll come back on the show again.
Yes,
Thanks
please.
for your
Yes,
input.
please. Thank you for
Okay.
joining us.
Take care then. Bye.
Bye.